Are you prepared for an emergency? That's a question we all need to ask ourselves. This video is all about prepping, the practice of making preparations for potential threats and emergencies that could disrupt our lives at any moment. From natural disasters to economic downturns, being prepared can make all the difference. In the coming minutes, we will explore 10 common mistakes that new preppers often make. By shedding light on these pitfalls, we aim to help you navigate your prepping journey more effectively. We'll discuss everything from the importance of having a clear plan, to the consequences of overbuying, to the need for learning essential skills, and much more. Learning from these mistakes can save you time, money, and potentially even your life. So grab a notepad and get ready to take some notes. Now let's dive into the 10 mistakes you must avoid as a new prepper. First off, heading into this without a clear plan is a recipe for disaster. Imagine trying to navigate a dense forest without a map or compass. That's what prepping without a plan looks like. It's essential to identify potential threats you may face. These could range from natural disasters like floods, hurricanes, or wildfires, to economic downturns or even pandemics. Now, once you've identified these threats, it's time to craft a comprehensive plan. This plan should be tailored to your personal situation. For instance, if you live in a flood-prone area, your plan should include measures to safeguard against rising waters. But it's not just about considering what threats you might face. It's also about thinking about your resources. What supplies will you need? How much food and water should you store? What's your plan for staying warm or keeping cool depending on the climate? These are all critical considerations. And don't forget about the importance of communication. Make sure your plan includes a way to stay connected with others. This could mean having a reliable radio or a way to charge your cell phone. Your plan should also have a contingency for when things don't go as expected. Because let's be honest, in a real emergency, they often don't. So always have a backup plan. Remember, a well-planned prepper is a successful prepper. Next, let's talk about the dangers of overbuying and hoarding. Now, it's easy to get carried away when you're new to prepping. You might feel the urge to buy every item on every list you find, but that's a pitfall you want to avoid. Buying too much, too soon, can lead to waste and clutter. Not to mention, it can put a strain on your wallet. Instead of buying in bulk, try building your stockpile gradually. Start with the essentials, like food, water, and medical supplies. From there, you can expand to other useful items, such as tools and equipment. Remember, it's not about having the most supplies, it's about having the right supplies. Overbuying can also create another problem: expiration. If you buy too much of something, especially perishable goods, you might not use it before it goes bad. That's why it's important to rotate your supplies. Use the old ones first and replace them with new ones. This way, nothing goes to waste. And lastly, don't forget to consider storage space. Hoarding can quickly fill up your home, making it uncomfortable and difficult to navigate. Make sure you have adequate space for your supplies and that everything is organized and easy to access. So buy smart, not in excess. Now, let's discuss health and fitness. When emergencies strike, physical fitness and health become paramount. The ability to run, lift, and endure can make a significant difference in survival scenarios. Therefore, incorporating regular exercise into your routine is crucial. It doesn't have to be complex or strenuous. Simple activities like walking, cycling, or even gardening can boost your fitness levels. Next, let's talk about diet. A balanced diet helps maintain your body's health, providing it with the necessary nutrients to function optimally. Try to incorporate a variety of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains into your meals. And remember, hydration is just as important. So don't forget to drink plenty of water. But what about when someone gets injured or falls ill? That's when basic first aid skills come into play. Knowing how to treat wounds, recognize signs of illness, and perform CPR can be life-saving. It's worth taking a course or two to equip yourself with these skills. Finally, a well-stocked medical kit is essential. This should include items like bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers, and any necessary prescription medications. Having these items on hand can make a significant difference when professional medical help is not immediately available. In conclusion, never underestimate the importance of health and fitness in your prepping journey. Remember, your body is your most valuable asset in any survival situation. Your health is your ultimate survival tool. Moving on, do you have the skills to survive? You see, prepping isn't just about stockpiling food, water, and supplies. It's about equipping yourself with the necessary skills to survive in any situation. Think about it. If you ended up stranded in the woods with a dozen cans of beans and no can opener, what good would that do? That's why it's crucial to acquire a set of practical skills. These include gardening, to grow your own food, cooking from scratch, because let's face it, you won't always have access to convenient, ready-to-eat meals, first aid, for when medical help is not immediately available, and basic repairs, because you never know when something might break down. Now you might be wondering where to start learning these skills. Well, the good news is there are countless resources available. Local community centers often offer courses in gardening and cooking. Online platforms like Coursera and Udemy have a wealth of courses covering everything from first aid to home repairs. And let's not forget about good old books. Your local library or bookstore probably has a section dedicated to these topics. The point here is to not just rely on your stockpile, but to empower yourself with knowledge. Because when the chips are down, it's not just what's in your pantry that counts, but what's in your head. Remember, knowledge is power. Next, let's tackle food storage. Food storage may seem straightforward, but there's more to it than just tossing cans on a shelf. Improper storage can lead to spoilage and waste, and that's something we want to avoid, especially when preparing for an emergency. So how can we store food properly? First and foremost, keep your food in a cool, dry, dark place. Heat, light, and moisture are a food storage enemy. They can cause your food to degrade faster, leading to nutrient loss and spoilage. Also, it's important to use the right containers. Airtight containers are the gold standard for food storage. They keep out pests, moisture, and oxygen, all of which can degrade your food over time. But there's more. You need to keep track of your food stocks. This is where labeling comes into play. Always label your food with the purchase date and the expiration date. That way you always know what to use first and what has the longest shelf life left. And finally, let's talk about rotation. Regularly rotating your food supplies is crucial. Use the first in, first out rule. This means using the oldest items first and putting newer items at the back of your storage. By following these simple steps, you can ensure that your food storage is effective and your supplies remain fresh and safe for consumption. Store smart to avoid waste and spoilage. Are you considering your water needs? This is a question that you cannot afford to overlook when preparing for emergencies. Water, the very essence of life, is critical to survival. It's not just for quenching your thirst, but also for cooking, maintaining hygiene, and even for certain medical situations. Now you might be wondering, how much water should you store? The general rule of thumb is to have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. But remember, this is just the bare minimum. In a prolonged emergency, you'll need more. It's better to have too much than too little when it comes to water. But storing water isn't where the story ends. Having a stockpile of water won't do you any good if it's not safe to drink. So how do you make sure the water is clean? There are various methods of water purification that can come in handy. Simple water filters can remove many contaminants. Purification tablets are another easy-to-use option. Now, let's discuss diversifying your supplies. It's a common mistake to rely heavily on a limited range of supplies. Imagine this scenario. You've stockpiled canned beans, but what happens when you run out of can openers, or worse, you or your family members develop an allergy to beans? That's why diversification is crucial. Think of it as creating a safety net. Diversification in your supplies isn't just about food. It extends to all areas of your prepping, from water purification methods to power generation. For food, ensure you have a mix of canned goods, dry goods like rice and pasta, and long-lasting fresh produce, such as potatoes and apples. In terms of water, don't just rely on bottled water. Consider other methods of purification like filters or purification tablets. Remember, you can never have too many ways to purify water. Power is another area where diversification is key. Don't rely solely on the grid. Consider alternative methods like solar chargers or portable generators. And let's not forget about tools. A good mix of basic tools like screwdrivers, hammers, and pliers, mixed with some more advanced tools like multi-tools or survival knives, can be a real lifesaver in a pinch. To sum it up, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify your supplies to cover all bases. Are you testing your plans and equipment? It sounds simple, but it's a step often overlooked. You see, having an emergency plan and all the necessary gear is all well and good, but if you don't know how to use them when the time comes, they're about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Think about it. You wouldn't sit for an exam without studying, right? Similarly, you shouldn't wait for a real emergency to test your preparedness. Regularly testing your plans and equipment allows you to identify any gaps in your preparations and make necessary adjustments. It's like a dress rehearsal for the main event. So how do you go about this? Start with your emergency plan. Run a drill step by step, as if you're in a real-life crisis. This can be as simple as a power outage drill at home, or as complex as a full-blown evacuation plan. Next, familiarize yourself with your equipment. Know your gear like the back of your hand. If you've got a solar-powered charger, for example, test it out. See how long it takes to charge, how much power it provides, and how it operates under different weather conditions. Involving family members in these drills isn't just beneficial, it's vital. Everyone in your household should know what to do in an emergency. Remember, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. In the end, it all boils down to this: practice makes perfect. Next, let's talk security. It's a crucial aspect that often gets overlooked in the rush to stockpile supplies and plan for potential emergencies. Security is about more than just locking doors and windows. It's about creating a safe environment where you can weather any storm. Consider your home's vulnerabilities. Are there enough locks on the doors and windows? What about an alarm system or security cameras? These can be a deterrent to anyone with ill intentions. But remember, even the best locks are useless if you don't use them. Make it a habit to secure your home, even when you're inside. Now let's not forget about personal security. This can range from learning basic self-defense techniques to having a safe room in your home. It's important to have a plan for if and when you're confronted with a threat. This will not only help you react more effectively, but also give you peace of mind. Also, be aware of your local security risks. Are there frequent break-ins in your area? Is wildlife a concern? Understanding your unique security challenges will allow you to better prepare and respond. Last but not least, remember that your supplies can become a target. Keep your stockpile discreet. You don't want to advertise to the world that you have resources others might desperately want in a crisis. So when planning for emergencies, don't just think about what you'll need. Think about how you'll protect it. Don't overlook your security. Finally, let's discuss the importance of community. Now, you might be thinking, I'm a prepper. I can survive on my own. And while self-reliance is a key aspect of prepping, it's equally important to remember that we, as humans, are social creatures. We thrive on cooperation and collaboration. Think about it. In times of crisis, having a network of like-minded individuals can be a lifeline. You can share resources, knowledge, and provide mutual support. A well-connected prepper is a well-prepared prepper. So, how do you go about building this network? Start by reaching out to your neighbors. You might be surprised to find fellow preppers living right next door. Join local clubs and groups focused on survival skills or outdoor activities. Not only will you learn new skills, but you'll also meet people who share your mindset. Don't be afraid to tap into the power of the internet. From online forums to social media groups, there are countless platforms where you can connect with preppers from around the world. Share experiences, ask for advice, discuss strategies. The collective wisdom of a group can often outweigh that of an individual. In conclusion, don't isolate yourself. Building a support network doesn't mean you're any less self-reliant. It simply means you're smart enough to understand the value of community. Remember, no man is an island. To wrap it up, we've journeyed through the 10 common mistakes new preppers often make. From the lack of a clear plan, overbuying and hoarding, to neglecting health and fitness, we've seen how these missteps can hinder your preparedness. Remember, essential skills are just as, if not more, important than stockpiling supplies. Improper food storage can lead to waste, and water supplies should never be overlooked. Diversify your stockpile to avoid reliance on a limited range of supplies. Regular testing and practice of your emergency plans is crucial, as is enhancing home security. Lastly, don't isolate yourself. Building a support network with other preppers can be a lifeline in emergencies. Now, armed with this knowledge, you're ready to start prepping wisely and avoiding these common pitfalls. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Before you go, check out our other videos for more insightful tips and tricks on prepping. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and keep yourself updated with our latest content. Stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.